Hi, Ben here, and welcome back to the workshop for another Work in Progress Wednesday. So today we're mostly working on carving tools. We've got lots of handles to prepare, so we're going to be sort of shaping lots of crook knife handles, getting them all prepped, ready for the blades, which I've already got heat treated. So yeah, we thought it'd be a nice opportunity for you to see how we actually shape each handle. So we're basically going to be set up in the grinding room. So I've got one of my favourite sort of grinders. This is a Radius Master that I use for shaping all the handles, and we've got all our handles prepared. So these are English elm, which we get from a local sawmill over by Hay on Wye, Whitney on Wye sawmill. So this is some local elm. We buy it in big plank form and we actually cut it up to the right sizes, and then we actually pre-drill a little mortise in there that will accept the tangs of the carving tool. So this is our small standard crook knife. So this is our handle for it. So basically we've made that mortise fit the tang of that particular carving tool. Now originally I used to always sort of fit the blades like that and start shaping the handles, and after a few mistakes and a few cut fingers, I've decided that's probably not the most sensible thing to do. So I now put in a little waste piece of steel that I've shaped to the right size, which has got a comfortable handle on there, and it allows me to actually hold the handle safely while I'm shaping it. And the important sort of thing is that I want to shape the handle around that mortise so that the blade is nice and square to the handle itself. So this is the way I do it. It's not the only way of doing it, but I found that this is the most efficient way of doing it. So we've got our little bits of elm. We've got our grinder set up. I've got this little tool rest on there, but I'm going to change the belt. So we change over from a 120 grit belt, and I use this 36 grit belt, which is really coarse, but that will really quickly remove all the waste material. Now, I haven't got my mask on because you won't hear what I'm saying, but I'm going to run the extractor and run the grinder, so it might be a little bit noisy, so you'll have to sort of bear with us really. This is a jet extractor, so I can turn it on with this remote. That's got plenty of suction, which is going to take away a lot of the dust. And I run the grinder pretty much at full speed. Make sure that belt's tracking. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create almost like a sort of oval shape in both this plane and in that plane. So rest it on the tool rest. And that's created that first oval. Now I need to create the oval in this other plane. So now it's starting to look a bit more like a handle. So now what I do is I knock off these corners. So I'm holding it at about 45 degrees. Like that. And then just before I finish, just round that end slightly. So the 36 grit belt, like I say, it's like it'd be like hitting the tarmac if you came off your BMX when you're a kid. You know, it's really coarse, so it really removes that waste material quickly, but it doesn't leave the finish we want. So now I change the belt again. The beauty of the Radius Master, it's so quick to change the belt. Just squeeze it like that, and then I can slide the new belt on, and then we just pull that handle up, boom. So 120 grit is the finish that we leave on the handles. You might think that's quite coarse, but it's going to give the handle a real nice grip and texture to it, and we're going to still concentrate on these facets. So we'll turn the grinder on again, maybe just turn the speed down ever so slightly, and then we're going to smooth up those lines. So that's cleaned up those 36 grit marks. Still got these real sharp corners to it, so I'm just going to very gently take off those corners, and it will leave that nice grippy handle. smooth that end again. And then I normally take the dummy handle out at that stage, and I just put a slight chamfer on that end, and then I need to reduce this thickness as well. So that's pretty much shaped. You can still see that we've got these definite sort of facets to the handle, and like I say, that's what's going to give you the grip when you're actually using the crook knife. It's going to mean that it doesn't keep sliding or rotating in your hand. So that's pretty much perfect. So what we'll do now is we'll take a few more upstairs and we'll show you how we put our logo on there. So we've brought our tray of crook knives up. We've got a few hybrid handles, we've got some 3-inch sloids, and we've even got some English sloids as well. They've got these nice contoured handles. And up until very recently, we used to do the branding literally with a branding iron. So this was a logo stamp that I had made probably, I hate to think, 15, 16 years ago. And I used to literally physically brand every single logo into the handle. Obviously wearing my special bicycle glove to stop my hand getting burnt, and that was a glove that I used to wear when I was 15, cycling to school and cycling to my apprenticeship, so it's got sentimental value, the glove. But yeah, we've now gone all high tech. We don't use the branding iron anymore. We've actually invested in a CO2 laser that we use upstairs in the workshop. We use it for various different things, but one of the main factors that we can do is we can now put our logo in, but also if somebody wants customization, so if they want their own company logo putting on the handles and things, it means that we can do that without having the cost of actually buying a new logo stamp. So we've got the laser all set up. I've got the program running with our little logo in, and what I've done is I've made this special little template so I can put multiple crook knives in there and I can get the logo just where I want it. So we'll line up that last one, and you normally have to shut the lid, but we've set it up so we'll leave the lid open so you can actually see it happening. And it might be a little bit noisy, but we'll put an extractor on and we'll see if it runs. So what that's doing is it's starting to mark our logo on each handle, starting from the top and working all the way down to the bottom of the crook knife handle. So it takes a few minutes, but it saves me having to brand it in by hand. So just finished doing that one row. Sometimes I'll have all the crook knives in there, so there's 3 rows of 13, so that's normally what I run in there. But the great thing about using the CO2 laser, it's only taking like 2 minutes to do that one row, but the level of detail that you can get with the CO2 laser, not just on our logo, but obviously if people want a company name, or some people have asked us to put a child's name or date of birth as if they're buying a crook knife as a gift, just gives us a lot of flexibility now. So yeah, really like the way that that comes out. Obviously now what I've got to do is just turn them all over and we'll put the logo on the other side, and yeah, then we'll be ready to put some finishing oil on. So we brought our tray of crook knife handles down, so they've been logoed, so we've done the laser logo on both sides, and now they're ready for the finishing oil. So at the moment they still look nice, but this wood really comes alive when you actually put a coating of oil on there. Now some people will use linseed oil. I tend to use this Liberon finishing oil. It's effectively a hybridized version of a linseed oil. It just means that it's a bit thinner, it dries a little bit quicker. People use it for like obviously furniture and kitchen worktops, so it's a fairly sort of food safe oil, so it'll keep your handles looking nice and clean. And to be honest, this is the bit that I really enjoy. This is where you start to sort of see the wood come to life really. So I've got a little bit poured in here, and all I do is I just dip it in. And I found the quickest way to actually apply this is, rather than using a brush, is I just literally wipe it on with my hands. And it means that I sort of rub it into the grain a little bit as well. I want to try and avoid too much oil going into the mortise really, so I make sure that I just put it on the sides itself and not too much on that front edge. We're going to use epoxy to stick our blades in, so I want to make sure that that doesn't get too much oil in there basically. We just lay it on some kitchen towel ready to dry. Like I say, because this is a sort of hybridised linseed oil, it's got sort of thinners in it that will help it penetrate but also help it dry quicker, so it won't take too much. I normally leave them for a few hours, 6-7 hours, and it's pretty much ready to stick the blade in. But you can see they really start to come to life. Now, the real treat is when you've got these fairly flat bits of wood. Still nice grain that you get in the elm, but this one is going to be pretty special. Now this is a piece of elm that's been cut from like the crotch where two branches meet, so you get this amazing sort of flame, sort of feathery grain in there. Still looks fairly flat at the moment, but when you put that oil on it, you just watch this come to life. I mean, that is quite incredible. And that's the perk of my job, seeing these bits of wood come to life. So I've wiped off the excess of the oil, so they'll just sit there and dry. But as you can see, you get these lovely different colours and tones on all the different handles. No one is exactly the same, but what we've done is, obviously we've dried off that really special one, that one with that real nice flamey grain, and you can really see how it looks really quite incredible. So what I've done is I've cleaned up a blade just to show you what it would look like finished. And what we thought would be fun is, obviously all these carving tools, selection of crook knives, straight knives for all your carving needs, are all available on the website through our store. But we thought what would be fun for you YouTube viewers, and obviously people that follow us on Instagram, is we'll put this on the available now page, and you'll be able to get this really special grained crook knife, and it's going to be the one that's featured in this video, so it'll make it a little bit more special for you. I won't glue the blade in, because you'll still be able to choose whether you want a right-handed one or a left-handed one, because sod's law, if I put a right-handed one, a left-handed person would want to use it. So we'll leave it so that you can choose what style of blade you want. But yeah, that'll be on the available now page. Amazing bit of elm. So that's pretty much how we make all our carving tool handles. Obviously we use machinery, we use grinders, but we're still having to sort of manipulate it all with our hands. So every single carving tool handle is produced that way in this workshop with these two hands. So yeah, obviously we're not like a mass-produced factory. There is always going to be a slight delay with handmade tools, but we thought it'd be nice that you see what goes into it and what goes behind every single carving tool that comes out of our workshop. So when we get pictures of people sending us shots of their spoons that they've carved on camping trips and things like that, it really makes us feel great that you're using our kit, whether it be in the UK or far corners of the world really. So hope you've enjoyed seeing what we've been up to, and yeah, tune in next week for another Work in Progress Wednesday. Thanks again.